Now in this video, we want to rewrite some complex expression using the laws of indices, alright? So here we are given that y divided by 3z to power 3, so this is to power 3, let me put it down well, okay, and everything there raised to the power of negative 2, alright? Okay, very nice. Now I am going to go ahead and still apply this, our laws of indices, and we're going to simplify things a little bit. So here, when we have a negative power, we just take 1 over a to power n. So where a is just the term itself, right? So here we are seeing that a can take the whole of this fraction. So we're going to write that as 1 over, so the whole of a, okay? So we're going to put down the whole of that fraction, y divided by 3z cubed, and then we raise that to power n, so without a negative, so it's going to be 2 without a negative, alright? Okay, very nice. Maybe we just go ahead and simplify things in the bottom. So we're going to have 1 divided by, well, you see here that when we have a to power a over b, everybody to power m, it is a to power m divided by b to power m, so that will just be y to power 2 divided by 3z cube, then raise that to the second power, right? Okay. So the next thing I would like to do here, let me write this fraction to show that that is the main one. Okay. Well, let me just write that in another form, so we can have it to be 1 divided by y squared over. Now, you know that these are products, so we raise that to power 2, and according to the law number 4, we can split this inside, okay? In the past 2 applications, we've seen that already, so we're going to have 3 squared times z raised to the power of, well, 3 times 2, that would just be 6, very nice like that, alright? And this is the main fraction. So, we're going to try to invert things. You see that we're having 1 divided by y squared over 3 squared is just 9, z to power 6. So we're going to try to change things and change things to multiplication, and then we are going to see that we will have 1 times 9z to power 6 divided by y to power 2, like that, alright? Okay, so that is just by changing it to multiplication. We take the multiplicative inverse of this. Alright, so we multiply everything here by 1. In fact, it just remains like that. So the result here is going to be 9z to power 6 over y to power 2. Okay, so that is a very simple one. Oh, it wasn't really simple anyway. So let me just equate this to the result divided by y to the second power. And maybe I just clean things up a little bit from here. Okay, so that is it for the first one. And for the second one, well, maybe after this one, I'll give you something to do, alright? Okay, for the second one here, we're going to see some things. Well, I see that this has a negative power, and this right here also has a negative power. Maybe if I take them out and work on them, alright, based on the law number 3, it will make sense. So I will rewrite everything as 3y to power 3. Then in the denominator, I will just have 4 times z raised to power 2. Now, I would like to multiply this with, well, here I'm going to write z raised to power negative 2. That is z raised to power negative 2. And here I would like to write y raised to power negative 1. It is the same thing, alright, because I'm doing multiplication. Okay. And besides, don't be too quick here to cancel this one with this one, alright? Less than this, don't cancel them. In fact, at the end of everything, the power is going to double. It's going to become power 4. So if you cancel this right here, you are getting it wrong because the powers here are not the same. So this means these are not actually equal, right? For all values of z, let's say real numbers. Okay. Now, here we are having 0 raised to the power negative 2. So I can rewrite that as only this one. Maybe let me just work on this ones alone, alright? Maybe let's stop here, work on this, we'll plug it in, alright? So this is 1 over z raised to the power 2 at the top, then divided by 1 over y on the bottom. This alone, according to the law, we have 1 over z to the power 2, and this is just negative 1, so that will be 1 divided by y raised to the power 1. Okay, so that's why I didn't indicate that. Well, by this changing divisions to multiplication and interchanging things, you go ahead and do that, alright? But the idea is that this denominator in the numerator will come down here, okay, to the numerator and the denominator, and this right here will go up to this one and be multiplied together. So that will give us z squared times 1 in the denominator. That will just be z squared, then y times 1 in the numerator, and that is it, we are done. Okay, so that means that the y that was at the bottom, because it had a negative power, it's now at the top with a positive power 1. So this one that had a negative 2 and was on the top, it is now on the bottom with a positive 2 as a power. So when you see things like this, just invert it, alright? And still keep the powers for them, except the minus. Okay, so that means that the whole of this is the same thing as that. So maybe I'll just clean things up a little bit, and I'll replace that with what we get. So I'll replace this. Let me clean this whole process. So in there, I'm going to write, okay, let me clean this up. Y divided by z to the power 2. Alright, very nice. Okay, maybe we just go ahead and multiply everything now. We're going to see that we're going to have 3 y to the power 3 times y to the power 1, that is y to the power 4, divided by, now, 4 in the bottom, then z to the power 2 times z to the power 2, that is going to be z to the power 4. Okay, don't think there's any other work to do. Okay, so that's a nice place to stop. And I said I was going to give you something to do. So let me just go ahead and put that down. I want you to simplify this one. So this is for you to try. You go ahead and try this out. Try to simplify it, right? And good enough, when you simplify it, this is what you will get as a result. Okay, so you try and go ahead and do the work. Let me check this out. Squared, cubed, a's at the bottom. Okay, a's at the top. Then 6, 3, r to the power 3. Okay, 9 at the bottom and 2 with that. Okay, so that is what you are going to get as a result. Alright, so just go ahead and check it out. Okay, alright, thanks for watching this video, and please subscribe to my channel.